All right. Hello and welcome. So glad to have you with us today. We've got an amazing session. We're going to be talking really all about how to maximize the conversion rate of your website from visitors to callers. So I'd love to hear from you guys in chat. If you think about your website today and you had to rate it on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being it's not very good, like you feel like it's terrible, 10 being it's great, like it's built to convert, like all of the right elements are in place. And somewhere in between, like maybe a 5 would be, you feel like it's pretty good, but it's not great. Like there's definitely room for improvement. So just so I can get some context and we keep this interactive, let me know how you feel about your website as it sits right now. Kind of or kind of good. Give me a number from 1 to 10. Ken, Ernest, Michael, those of you on with me live, give me some feedback in the chat. And hopefully as we go, Ken says about a 5, Ernest says about a 3. Hopefully as we go, we'll give you some clearer criteria on what's good, what's bad, and what you could do to go from a 3 to a 10 or from a 5 to a 9, right? To really move the needle and get more people coming to the site that wind up picking up the phone and calling in or starting a chat and booking an actual service call, as opposed to just using your website as a brochure. Give me a good if that sounds good for today's session. If I can give you some clear insights to move the needle from where it's at today to the next level, which means you're going to make more money. So I want to hear 1 of 2 things in the chat. Either good, if that's good with you, or a $sign if you're like, yes, let's make more money from our plumbing, HVAC, home service websites. Ken gave me a heck yes. Michael gave me $3 signs. Excellent. So that's what this is all about, right? Improving the results so that you can book more jobs, so that you can make more money, right? At the end of the day. So, all right, I'm sharing my screen. Let's get right into it. This is part of our digital dominance method. If you really think about all of the different things that go into your online marketing and generating the maximum amount of leads possible, the foundation of all of it basically is your website, right? You have to have a place to drive the visitors. It's kind of the place where people end up. But once you've got a good website, you have to make sure that you're driving traffic. And ideally, you'd start organic, right? You're taking advantage of all the unpaid results. Then you layer paid search and retargeting. And then you tap into some of the paid online directories like Yelp and Angie's List and City Search, and you start getting aggressive with your repeat and referral business strategy, email marketing and social media back to the existing customer sphere. And over time, you can really maximize your lead flow. And when we do these sessions, we're usually getting together every month or so. We go deep on one of the key pillars of this digital dominance method. And today we're talking all about the foundation, which is your website. So some quick housekeeping before we start, if you don't mind. Turn off your cell phone, close Facebook, really give this your undivided attention and focus. If you're serious about really getting this dialed in and getting the insights you need to really maximize your conversion rate. So just put focus in the chat if you're okay with focusing in with me on today's session. Real quick, who I am and why you should listen to me. I'm the author of The Complete Guide to Internet Marketing for Plumbing, HVAC, Home Service Contractors. I'm an associate member of PHCC, QSC, ACCA. I've spoken at a number of the industry events. But I'd say more important than all of that stuff is that I've had the opportunity to work with several hundred plumbing, HVAC, home service business owners in some of the most competitive markets across the country. And seen a lot of them go from virtual obscurity online to now where they're the dominant players in their area, getting hundreds of leads every single month. Many of them have seen over $1 million in revenue growth over the last 3 to 5 years working together. And so what I share with you isn't based on theory. It's not based on some book that I read somewhere. It's based on real experience working with plumbing and HVAC companies just like yours. And I'm going to be sharing real examples and case studies with you throughout the course of today's session. So here's the concept. Here's what it looks like in the real world. And here's the results. Like here's how many leads they're getting from that. And here's how this improved their conversion rates. Give me examples in the chat. Ernest, thanks for running focus in. And examples, if you're okay with me using real examples and maybe calling on a couple of you guys and pulling up your websites as we go so that we can kind of do some comparative analysis. So just put examples in the comments if you're up for that. This is what we do as a company. So my company is Plumbing and HVAC SEO. We're on a mission to triple the size of 1,000 plumbing and HVAC companies. And like this is what we do day in and day out. And if you ever feel like you'd like to talk with us about your website or about your online marketing, how you could generate better results or how we could work together, reach out, right? Christian, my director of business development, is on here. We are willing to sit down with you one-to-one and do a complete individual review of your website and provide you with the feedback you need to generate better results. So you can just tag Christian on here or hit him on the chat, and he'll be glad to talk through that with you. So here's the issue as I see it, the kind of the challenge as it relates to why this is even important, your website, and why we're spending a whole session just thinking about your website and how to improve conversion. Most home service companies, especially plumbing, HVAC, you guys are making a big investment in your online marketing, right? You're spending money on pay-per-click. You're spending money on local service ads. You're spending money in a lot of cases on SEO. You've tried just about all of the services. Like you've tried Reach Local, and you've tried Yodel, and you've tried Scorpion, and you've tried all of these companies over the years. And so the industry, I think, is unique in that you guys are very willing to spend money as long as it works, right? But a lot of times you make this big investment, but there's not enough leads. There's a low return on investment. And ultimately, I think the biggest challenge and the biggest problem that most of you are looking to solve for is parked trucks and an empty schedule. Because the hardest thing is, I've seen it working with about 190 plumbing HVAC companies throughout the country, is the hard thing isn't necessarily getting the leads and the book jobs. It's really more getting the technicians and getting the technicians trained up and recruiting them. Give me a yes if that's the case for you. It's like the bigger challenge is recruitment and kind of keeping those guys on board. And I know that's the case. So the opportunity cost is, if you don't have the phone ringing and the trucks running, you could lose some really, really valuable technicians to the competition, to other parts of the world. And so if we can't generate the leads and really convert at the highest level possible, we can't grow, right? The bottom line is we can't retain our techs, and we can't grow and make the revenue that we're after. And so the opportunity, what we're looking to solve for today, is make sure that you've got a great website that's built to convert, that's very consistent at taking a visitor, somebody that landed on your site from whatever channel they were coming from, to a caller, to somebody that actually calls in or requests an estimate or requests a service call. And ultimately have you guys with a full schedule, with the trucks running, with consistent growth and momentum. And so really that's the opportunity. That's what we're after. Just put success in the comments if that's your objective as well, right? Make sure that you've got a great strategy, keep the phone running, trucks running, and the business booming. Excellent. And says getting applicants and keeping the ones you have. Yeah, no doubt, right? That's a big challenge, is finding those applicants to come out and do the work, to be the technicians, and to keeping them on board, because there's lots of competition. Okay, so let's get into it. Really, in my opinion, your website is the hub, right? And that's why this is so important. That regardless of what marketing you do, and I know we just talked about, you do lots of marketing, from your truck wraps to the SEO that you run, to the pay-per-click ads, to the branding you do in your local market. Everything you do basically leads back to your site. At the end of the day, they're going to look at your reviews, and then they're going to pop on your website, and they're going to decide, does this look like a quality organization? Are they professional? Are they the answer to my problem that I have right now? And if your website isn't built to convert, it's going to take a drag on all of the other marketing that you do. And if you get it right, you can make all of the marketing you do even more effective, right? So that's why this is so important. And really the website is the hub. I just want to give you a quick example, kind of an illustration of kind of the metrics and the numbers on this. Scenario one, let's say you average home plumbing company, you get 1,500 visitors per month to your site. via SEO and pay-per-click and all the different, reasons that somebody might wind up on your site. And let's say you get an average 5% conversion rate. And when I say conversion rate, that's of all of those people, how many will pick up the phone and call the office, or how many of them will submit a chat on the site or submit a web form, right? And again, if we work with 190 plumbing, HVAC, home service companies, I've probably looked at 1,000 or more plumbing and HVAC company sites, and I've looked at kind of what their metrics are and how they're converting. I'd say the average in the industry is somewhere between 5 and 10%, right? So this wouldn't be terrible, but it also wouldn't be good. So about average, right? So you got a 5% conversion rate. That would mean for 1,500 visitors, you're generating about 7,500 leads. That's inquiries. That's the people calling in and requesting an estimate. Let's say you get an average conversion rate on those, and a lot of you would argue this is low. Let's say 30% of the people that call in, you're winding up booking them out for a job and kind of getting your guys dispatched into the field. That would mean 22 booked jobs. So 22 booked jobs, and let's say your average transaction value is $450. I know some of you are quite a bit more. Some of you are maybe a little bit less than that, but let's just use $450. That would mean you generate about $10,000 in revenue on those 1,500 visitors, right? And these metrics, I would say, on kind of like average to low side of the equation of what I'm seeing in the industry. Now, if you can get that dialed in, let's just say you keep your traffic the same. You get that same 1,500 visitors, which means you didn't spend an additional dollar in ads. You didn't spend an additional dollar in branding. You just tapped into the existing traffic already hitting your website, and you bump that to 15%. Also, not a crazy number, right? I'm going to show you, in my mind, you want to be shooting for 25 to 30%. But even if you could just go from 5 to 15% for that same amount of traffic and that same investment level, you'd have 225 leads or inquiries or inbound calls. So you keep your conversion rate 30%. That would be 67 booked jobs instead of 22. Average transaction 450, which again, I'm going to argue that should be higher in this industry. But that being the case, you went to $30,000 in revenue as opposed to $10,000 in revenue without changing anything but your website and the conversion elements on your site. So give me a clear in the comments if that's clear. Like, it's important, right, to really focus on the website and the pages of the site your visitors are getting to make sure they're tweaked to convert at the highest level possible. Just crystal clear, says Ken. Excellent. So I want to share an example, like I said, I was going to share examples throughout the course of today's session. I want to share a real world example of this playing out. And there's a company we work with in Fargo, North Dakota, and the name of the company is Laney's, and they're a plumbing, HVAC, electrical remodeling company. And when we started working with them, I'm not sure if you can see this. This is the website they had over here on the right. Very, kind of, standard practice for the industry at the time. Not really, really good, right? It had the phone number, it had some text, it had a picture of the truck somewhere in the corner, and that was it. And we rolled out a fully updated version of the site that was built to convert. I'm going to be showing you all of the elements that we changed to really get it to convert really, really well. But what I want you to see is is a well-known brand in that market, really, really well-established company. He does a lot of radio, he does a lot of billboard, he does a lot of brand advertising. So he's known, he's been two, 3 generations the company's been around. And so they had traffic. They were getting organic traffic to the site. But, when we started, they were averaging about 55 calls per month via the site, just because the site didn't convert. It wasn't compelling. When we put the elements in place before adding any new traffic source, without driving SEO, without increasing the pay-per-click, without turning any types of Facebook ads on or anything like that, they saw their call count jump to 317 calls per month. And that was just because the website had the right elements to convert those visitors into callers and leads at a higher level. And so kind of fast forward here more recently, you can see over 930 leads tracked via their website. And because it converts so well, their average cost per lead is obnoxiously low. Like I don't even use this as an example of what you should strive for because, average cost per lead is going to be more like 25 to 30%. I mean, $25 to $30 per lead. But what I'd like you to see here is at this point in time, like if we fast forward to very recently, they're getting over 1,598 leads per month via their online marketing, via their website. So this is important, right? You can make tweaks to your site. You can make tweaks to the conversion factors and drastically increase the number of leads and sales that you get. And so let's dive into it. Casey's asking what dashboard that is. We actually have a proprietary dashboard that we use in the industry that gives us the ability to break down how many leads did you generate, how much did you spend, what was your average cost per lead, and really spell it out to you in clear language. And that's something we provide for our clients. So let's talk about how to optimize for conversion. I've got a great, relatively simple workbook that we've put together. If you go to plumberseo.net/convert-workbook, you'll be able to grab this. I'll just open it up real quick. You can see it's just a simple Google Doc, and this will help you track along with me on today's session. And I would probably encourage you to do is make a copy of it. That way you can go in and add to it and modify it. So if you just come here, File, Make a Copy, you can have your own version that you can run with and kind of track along on today's session. So give me a 1 in comments if you're good. You've got the workbook. Just a 1. Excellent. Christian, thanks for dropping the link in for us on that. Okay, so let's look at the 12 elements. I'm gonna hit the bullets quickly, but then we're gonna dive in and look at like visually what that means and kind of how that works. The first thing you want to think about to improve conversion on your website is be sure that you're speaking to your target avatar. That you're really speaking to your ideal customer. What are their fears? What are their frustrations? And why should they choose you? If you can infuse the messaging in a way that resonates, you're going to convert better, right? It's not all visual. A lot of it is like, are you talking about the things they care about when they're looking for a plumber, when they're looking for an HVAC company, when they're looking to change their installation of their HVAC system? Number 2 is we want to be real and authentic, which means we want to use real pictures of the team, real pictures of the staff, real pictures ideally of the owner. People want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And so to the extent that the real people behind the business are front and center, not to boast or to brag or be like, look how cool we are, but just to be like, hey, that's a real person. So when I call this company and I looked at the reviews and I see that person is being referenced, that's who I'm going to deal with, a real person, not a stock model or photographer. Or stock photography. You want to leverage video and multimedia to engage in different modalities. Yes, the conversion on a plumbing service call is relatively quick, and they might just look and see, okay, here's some pictures, here's what they do. But if they're thinking about a higher transaction value, like changing out their HVAC system or installing a new tankless water heater, if they see a video of you as the owner of that company explaining the technology and why they should hire you versus the competition to do it, a lot of them will engage with that because most home service companies don't create that kind of video. And so you can engage with your prospects on a different level. Types of video I like to see, and again, I'm going to dive into examples on this. A welcome video. Hey, welcome to our website. Here's who we are. Here's the area we serve. And here's why people hire us versus the competition. A video of each of your services. So if you do plumbing, drain cleaning, tankless water heaters, repiping, etc., you would want to create a video that talks about each one of those services. And we don't have to get crazy with this. Don't feel like you got to go hire a production crew to come shoot fancy video. This could be as simple as you standing by your truck or standing by that equipment with somebody holding a phone, and you're just talking about it. And you can add that to your website. It will add a different feel. It'll add the different way that people interact with the website to improve conversion. And I think you want to have a video explaining why somebody would choose you versus the competition. Like really make that really clear. What is it that's unique about your company? Is it your pricing? Is it your availability? Is it the professionalism of your staff? Is it your warranty? Is it the fact that you're available after hours? Is it the fact that you've got some charitable cause that you associate with what you do? Like, there's specific reasons and specific things you can do to set your company apart. Number 4 is we want to leverage social proof. All other things being equal, people want to do business with people that have good reviews, right? They're going to look at you. They're going to look at Google and search your reviews. They're going to look at Yelp and look at the reviews. And then they're going to get on your site. And if you've got real testimonials and reviews, that has a huge ability to influence and to make them be like, okay, I don't need to keep shopping around. I'm going to call these guys, and if they answer, I'm going to move on and have this job booked. Number 5 is we want to just get some very basic fundamentals in place. So we want a phone number in the top right-hand corner, right? We know the eye naturally gravitates to the top right-hand corner on the page. So we want to have a phone number there. We want to ensure that there's some type of web form where the prospect can enter their details and submit a form, because they're not always in a place to make a phone call. We want to add credibility by drafting on known symbols. So, like, for instance, the Better Business Bureau, Angie's List, Super Service Award, things that people already know and trust, and anchor our website to that will improve conversion rates. Number 3 is we want to make sure we have clear call to actions. It's amazing how often I see this gets missed. Like, if we've got a page that talks about tankless water heaters, yes, we want information about tankless water heaters and the benefits, but at the end, we want to tell them what to do next. Hey, so click here to schedule a free estimate or give us a call at this number, right? Tell them what to do, and do it on every block of text within your website. Use special offers and coupons where it makes sense, right? We want to give them every reason to choose us versus the competition. So if they landed on that drain cleaning page, and we're talking about drain cleaning and the fact we can get somebody out today, why not? If we can do $20 off for new time customers or something along those lines, just another reason for them to take action and contact you versus the competition. Absolutely have to make sure that the website is mobile optimized and mobile friendly. We're finding almost like 60 or 70% of visitors are getting to your plumbing, HVAC, home service website on a mobile device. And so really want to make sure that not only does it fit the screen, but it's as you see, a good user experience on a mobile. They can click a button and call your office on mobile, and they can really have a clean process. So you want to like experiment with this. Pull up your website on a mobile phone, see how it works, see how it looks. Number 9 is leverage chat. Leverage chat. Some people want to call, some people want to submit a form, and then other people would just prefer to chat with somebody. And if they knew that they were going to get a live interactive conversation that could solve their problem, they would take that every day of the week. So be sure that you've got a chat bubble, whether that's you live interacting, whether that's two-way text message, which is my preferred type of chat, or whether it's like a man chat, like home service chats or Ruby chat. Like, you want that availability on your website. We've seen that really improves conversion rates. And we want to give them the opportunity to book online. Like, if they want to say, hey, I'm available Thursday at 3, and you can match that to your booking system, whether that's in Service Titan or House Call Pro or whatever platform you use, if you can match that up and remove the barrier of having to talk to somebody and just know, okay, I've got this scheduled, customers love that, right? And the technology exists, and so you want to lean into that. You want to try and be ahead of the online booking options that are available. Number 11 is that site speed and how quickly your website loads plays a huge role in conversion, right? You want to look at this, look at it up on GT metrics and some of the other tools. And I'm going to walk through this in depth here in a minute, but site speed matters. Your site needs to load quickly on a mobile and desktop. That improves your conversion rate, also improves your SEO and your ability to rank organically. And then number 12 is I think you really want to make sure that you're engaging via SMS, phone, and marketing automation. I'll talk more about what that means, but in today's environment, there's been a shift from people wanting to call in and talk to wanting to text, right? And so if you can give them the opportunity to two-way text with you, and they believe that there's a real solution on the other side, they'll take that. And the technology exists to do two-way text messaging. And you want to leverage automation. So especially as it relates to people calling in to your website where you might have missed the call, to people submitting a web form on your site or submitting a web form anywhere online, you want to have automation in place where that form comes in, they get a call, they get a text message, they get connected to somebody in your office immediately. And if they're not available, they get added to like follow-up automation where they're touched a couple of times over the next 12, 24 hours to move them to convert. So this is the high level overview. Hopefully there's a couple of insights here on these 12 key criterias. Put a 12 in chat if you feel like this was a good list and there might be a couple of things that you want to focus on as we go deeper on this. All right, I got some 12s going. So what's the one element that will have a bigger impact on the results of your internet marketing than just about anything else? What would you say that is? Anne said she's found a couple of things. The one element that will have a bigger impact than just about any of your other marketing is how well your website converts a visitor to a caller. So how do we do that? How do we optimize our website so that we get more calls, so that we get more conversions, so that we get more leads for the traffic that's already coming in? And so I want to show a couple of examples here because we talked about the bullets, and I know it's hard to follow bullets, and I apologize for spending so much time on bullets, but I wanted to kind of paint the picture, and then I want to pull up real examples and show you exactly what I'm talking about. So let's look at Valley Plumbing, which is a full-service plumbing and drain cleaning company based in the Salt Lake City market. And this website converts extremely well. I'm going to show you the exact metrics on how well it converts, and it will be self-evident as to why it converts the way that it does. But a couple of the things I said right out of the gates in that bullet, and you can go back to your workbook and kind of cross-reference with me. Number one is personality and authenticity, right? People want to do business with real people. And so as opposed to just having stock images, or as opposed to just having pictures of trucks or technical equipment, you can see we're leading with real people. And this is the real Valley Plumbing team, right? We've got Lawrence Snow, we've got Robbie here. These are the real people behind Valley Plumbing. And you can see it's a very professional organization. And branding wise, it stands out, right? It's the big, bold colors that kind of catch your attention. So that's the first piece of it. And you'll see this personality infused kind of throughout the entire site. The other thing, like just from a basic fundamental perspective, is depending upon how somebody wants to convert, we're giving them lots of modalities to convert, right? We've got a phone number up here in the top right-hand corner, 801-341-4222, right? They can pick up that number and they can call it. If they wanted to, they could book in right now, right? And this kind of goes through into their system where they actually can pick a time and get themselves scheduled. Or they can chat, like I talked about, having the ability to engage in a chat conversation. Put 3 in the comments if that makes sense. 3 different modalities to convert, right? We're not forcing them down the call track. We're not forcing them down the appointment online track. We're giving them the options, and you'd be amazed. A lot of people every single day start a chat conversation with Valley Plumbing. A lot of people every day book a call, and there's obviously people still picking up the phone and starting a conversation. Hey, when are you guys available? Can you get somebody out here today? The other thing that's really important is making sure that you're speaking to your ideal customer, right? Like, what are their fears? What are their apprehensions? What are their concerns? And so you see like your trusted plumber, right? We're talking about why somebody would want to use Valley Plumbing versus the competition. We've got testimonials, long form, people sharing their experience of what it was like. We've got multimedia, talked about having video, like that welcome video. Hey, welcome to the website. And you've got Robbie, the owner, right here just talking. Hey, welcome to the website. Here's who we are. Here's what we do. So like these are the key elements we want to have when we look at our website from a conversion perspective and really what it takes to convert at the highest level possible. I just want to kind of show you some of the metrics. So for Valley Plumbing, they spend about $9,500 per month in online marketing. So that's their like management fees and their SEO and their all of that, plus their ad spend. So the plus what goes to Google AdWords. For that, they generate a tracked 510 leads per month. If you break that down, it's about $18.81 per lead, which is really good in a mass market like Salt Lake City. And we can really see like kind of where those leads are coming from. About 330 from like organic people coming to the website from search, 115 from paid search, which means they clicked on them on Google Ads and went on there, and 61 directly from Google Maps. So what I want to do is I want to drill down to the conversion rate from visitor to caller, right? And we talked about that example at the beginning with 5% being not great and 15 being pretty solid, but like you can be better. We track conversion, we optimize for conversion. And so you can see on about 3,317 visits, they had a 35% conversion rate. So 35% of their visitors are picking up the phone and converting, or they're submitting a chat, or they're booking online. 35% is a game changer, and most plumbing HVAC websites are converting like 10 to 15%. So that's one example, converting 35% or higher. We talked about the key elements and the key variables. Does anybody want to use their website as an example, like maybe that I can guinea pig with and either point, hey, it looks great, or hey, you know what, these are some things you might want to do to improve. If you're willing to be a guinea pig on today's session, just put your website into the chat here and we'll pull it up and we'll dive into it with you. All right, a couple of you brave souls. I appreciate it. Let's see, Anna's volunteering her site, which is Payless Router Denver. Let me share my screen again here. And I've got time to do a couple of these because I find it's helpful to hear me talk about it and then see some examples of it, and then actually like look at some examples of what may be room for improvement sites, and maybe not, and maybe your site's awesome, right? So this is paylessdenver.com. We get to the site, and I want you to look at this with your own eyeballs, right? Because this, like, if based on what I've just shared with you, a lot of you guys should be able to look at this and see, okay, here's what might be better, right? Here's what I would change. And if you can do that through any website you look at, you can apply it to your own. Be like, okay, here's exactly what I should do. Here's what I need to change. So first up is like a click for coupon, which I'm not going to speak to that right now, but the hero image on the site, we've got an arm and a watch and a wrench. So to me, this is a stock photo of plumbing, right? It's like, hey, somebody searched like plumbing images and we've got a stock image of plumbing. This isn't going to resonate the same way as this, right? Because we've got real faces, smiling faces. They look like friendly professional people. Here, we don't have that, right? So that's one thing that stands out to me real quick right off the top is we want an image that has real pictures and real authenticity. And we've got that going on here, right? We've got the stock guy here. We've got running water. Infuse real images of real people that are part of Payless Router, and you'll absolutely convert better. What else? Let's look for our modalities of conversion. So we do have a phone number. That's good. Top right-hand corner, it's in the right place. We have the ability to request a call back. So this is like a web form. And then let's see what else we've got. We can read the reviews, we can email, and we can share. So I would encourage to add some type of chat to the site, right? The ability to engage either via two-way text message or some type of chat will absolutely improve conversion rates. Curious. I don't know. This is just me kind of scrolling it down to mobile. I'd have to pull up on a mobile phone to see specifically. I don't know that this is going to be super easy to click and call and make it a really nice, clean mobile experience. What else? Anything else stand out for anybody as they're kind of looking at the checklist and kind of what could improve conversion? There is a video here. I'm curious. Let's see. We would like to thank all the men and women in uniform for their service and the sacrifice they made fighting hard. So there's a video. I would prefer that again be an authentic video of the owner or somebody from the team. Hey, welcome to Payless Router. We serve the greater Denver area, and these are the services we provide, and this is why people choose us. versus the competition. So there's some feedback, some definite things that could be done to improve conversion rate on the site. And hopefully this is helpful. If you have any follow-up questions, please let me know. Let me know in the chat. Just give me like a 1 if it's helpful to see like, here's some great examples and here's some like actual real world out of the blue. Like we're just going to look at a couple sites and see where there might be room for improvement from a conversion perspective. Okay, got a couple ones coming in. All right, so I want to share another example. This is a company we work with in East Lansing, Pennsylvania. This is Meridian Advantage. It's the hyperlink there. So again, we've got personality, authenticity, phone number in the top right-hand corner, the ability to schedule multimedia. Like, so this is the actual owner speaking to you. Really clear on why somebody should choose them versus the competition as opposed to technical jargon, right? Always ready, trusted technicians, professional, customer satisfaction guaranteed. If we look at this from a mobile perspective, right, it kind of drops down to, yes, you can read all of this stuff, but since you're on mobile, what are the key things you might want? You might want the coupons. You might want to check out our reviews. You might want to just click that button and be dialing in to the office. So good mobile experience, lots of reviews. Something we did with them that's pretty cool is these testimonial videos, like where we've got videos of actual customers talking about their experience and their results. The chat bubble, I believe maybe it's just off at the moment, but we definitely have two-way text messaging on this site for chat. And so let's look at the metrics. Let's look at the numbers. In East Lansing, Pennsylvania, predominantly plumbing, HVAC, more on the HVAC and remodeling side of the equation. $7,886 spent, 677 leads. Average cost per lead of $11.65. And that kind of comes from 204 from organic, 171 from PPC, 267 from Google Maps, 35 from web forms. And I just want to show you, for their 1,454 visitors, they had 495 converted leads for a 32% conversion rate. And I do a lot of training in and outside of the plumbing HVAC space in the digital marketing world. I talk about conversion and what's good and what's bad conversion for a plumbing HVAC home service site. A lot of people are like, no, I mean, you're not going to get more than 15 or 20%. Like, you just can't do it. But here's another example of a really good company converting at 32% based on the exact variables we talked about, right? You're going to see a very similar formula on all of the examples we look at. Let's look at Nexco Plumbing. Nexco is a full service plumbing company in the Cincinnati or the greater Cincinnati market, more like Mason, if you know the area. They're a little outside of the main city. But you'll see, right, here we've got all of the same key factors, right? The owner, smiling face, real person behind the business, not an anonymous entity. We're talking about why somebody should choose them versus the competition. Honest, expert, service you deserve, 24-hour live answer, family owned and operated, no mess left behind. Like, this is good messaging speaking directly to that target avatar. And we've got our multiple forms of conversion, right? They can pick up the phone and call. They can schedule in, or they can start their two-way text message right here, schedule via chat. So lots of ways to convert. We get the video of the owner. Welcome to the website. Here's why you should choose us versus the competition. Check out our online reviews. Lots of personality and authenticity. And if you know Jeff Eager, he's not an egomaniac, right? He's not on the website just because he likes to see himself and thinks he's really handsome. We had to kind of push him into this. But the reality is, when you have a figurehead on your website and that figurehead is a real person, people resonate with that completely differently than they do with these anonymous stock images. And so let's look at some metrics here. So Nexco Plumbing on a $5,879 monthly investment, 535 leads, average of $10.99. Broken down from organic, PPC, Google Maps, and chat. And you can see, if we're really tracking here, 1,730 visits, 38% conversion rate. So, I mean, these conversion rates are possible and they are feasible in the real world. So anybody else want to volunteer their website? And I want you to just think, like, if you could improve your conversion rate from where it's at right now to like 2 or 3 times better, that would absolutely result in 2 to 3 times more leads, which would ultimately generate 2 to 3 times better revenue for your business, even without improving your conversion rate, even without your conversion from call to book job, and then even without improving your average ticket in the field. All right, Kendra's volunteering, another brave soul. Kendra's volunteering, Central Heating and Air, Ontario. Let's pull this up as an example here. And again, I don't know, like sometimes people send their site and it's like, great. It's like, okay, wow, thanks for using your site as an example. And you're right, here's all the things you're doing well. Sometimes there's specific things that we can point to. So, okay, Central Heating looks like since 2007. I'm going to look at it up and down. I want you guys that are with me live, as you're looking at it, based on what we've just talked about, if you were working with Kendra and you wanted to show her how she could do better, if you wanted to, kind of come beside her and help her convert better from the visitors to the site, what stands out to you? Love to have a couple of you guys kind of post in chat, not to beat up on Kendra, but just to point to some obvious areas for improvement. So Rick chimed in, real images, right? So we've got right here, we got a picture of a home with a furnace, right? It's just a pretty image, but there's no real authenticity here. You're providing a home service and there's real people that are going to come in and engage. So I think that right there is a big thing. For instance, so it looks like this is messaging based on that. We do have some stats here about, why them. Ken says only 2 ways to contact. We've got the promise from the owner. I would love to see Ken's face, right? Kevin's face down here, right? If we had Kevin right here, that would be more compelling hearing about the promise behind the company. Yes, Ken says there's ways to convert, but they aren't quite as obvious, right? So get in touch, opens up an email, not ideal, right? You would prefer to see that be a web form or something where they can submit it without opening an email client. So let me see if I can close that down. Let's see, the free estimate does lead you to a form. So I would just drive, if anything, I would drive that same thing to here. Let's see, I can learn more. I think, yeah, Ken's saying maybe a click to call on here, an ability to engage via chat. So Kendra, hopefully this is helpful. A couple specific things, no video on here. There's some specific things you could do that would improve conversion. Having the number here isn't as ideal as having it up here because we read left to right and we read top to bottom. So the first thing we're going to see is, okay, call the company here. So this is why, we've split tested this a number of times. Having the number up there, it improves conversion rates. Let's look at this on mobile. It is nice mobile experience. So it looks like you guys did spend some time thinking about, well, how does this feel on mobile? I can do the estimate. I can learn more. I'm sure there's some type of click to call. It's not evident on the desktop view. The other thing to look at, and Christian just put this in chat, is our site speed, right? Site speed is really important driver of conversion rates. So you can just type in Google Page Speed Insights into Google, and it will let you put in your website, and it will tell you how fast or slow your website loads. So this is loading. Oops, that might be on my end. Always good to run a Page Speed Insights. Ideally, you're looking for green on green and A's to be at maxed out in terms of how well your site loads. The other thing, as we kind of shift from the basic on-page conversion factors to some automation, would be to just check and see, like, if I typed in how quickly am I going to hear back from somebody at Central Heating Ontario? And what's my option here? Like, I submitted this. It says someone's going to call me back I'm going to talk about some meat on the bone here where you could definitely amp the conversion rate on this. Give me some feedback. Helpful to see these real examples here, like kind of look at it visually, like, here's the results that can happen when you get it dialed in. And here's some examples of sites just out of the blue that, like, here's what you could do differently to improve conversion. Ken says, awesome. If you go to plumbersco.net/cheat sheet, we've got a little wireframe that you can use as a point of reference. Was like, what are the key elements? Where do you want them to visualize how you can really maximize the conversion rates on your site? So, Christian, if you could drop this link in, there we go, plumbersco.net/cheat sheet. Again, we want to see Joe Jones through Joe Jones' eyes, which means we want to think about their pains and their frustrations. Like, what are they actually up against? What are their goals? What are their fears? And if we can infuse that into the copy, like we have in the websites that you just looked at, it can make a big difference. So it starts with looking at your ideal customer, right? It's a homeowner, 35 years or older. Typically the female is the person making the call and kind of scheduling things out. They're married with 2 to 3 kids. They're the head of the household. I don't know, in each market this is different, but like a $65,000 annual household income. Like, really get clear on what that ideal customer for you is so that you can match all your messaging to their fears, their frustrations, their pains, and kind of where they're at. So some of the fears and pains, right? Their plumbing or HVAC, AC is not working. They can't get somebody on the phone. Like, this is really annoying. If you've ever tried to call a plumbing company or an HVAC company, you go to Google, you run a search, you click the first guy, you're like, okay, whatever, you call it, and it goes to voicemail. And you hang up, and then you call the next one. And then, the lady answers at the front and says, oh, I don't know, let me take a message. You do some mystery shopping in your market, and you'll find this is a massive pain in the neck for your customers, where they feel like they're calling and they can't get somebody live. And so they can't, like, they just want to be done with it. Really, they want to have it scheduled to move on with their life. They need to have their plumbing or HVAC issue resolved. They're too busy to deal with it, right? Everybody in America is busy, right? We've got jobs, we've got kids, we've got things going on, and dealing with our home, dealing with the plumbing or the AC that's not working isn't like a goal. It's a frustration. It's like, I just need this to work again. And so they're taking from time they don't have to try and resolve the issue. And then maybe they're worried that whatever it is in their home isn't healthy. And so I've got some worksheets for you guys in here. I would encourage you, the clearer you are and the more dialed in you are on that ideal customer and that psychographical profile, like what are their fears, what are their frustrations, the better you can write the messaging, the better your website is going to convert visitors into callers. And so fears, kind of as we've looked at it, they're afraid of being ripped off. They're afraid of paying too much for what they could have gotten somewhere else. They're afraid of having the house damaged by some handyman that didn't know what he was doing and breaking something, or even like hiring a professional company and having them mess something up in their house. They're really annoyed and afraid of having to wait around. Like, okay, they scheduled it for Thursday at 3, and then the guy didn't show up. Or worse, the housewife or the wife of the house has a full-time job, says, hey boss, I'm sorry, I got to go home because I've got this plumbing thing. I got to be there from 3 to 5. And they take that time, that precious time from work, and they're home waiting, and the technician doesn't show up. Like, that's terrifying for your customer. I just want you to be aware of that and be cognizant of that, because you can really craft your messaging to speak to that avatar. Just being inconvenienced, worried about a disaster. And their goals, really, you could get really specific with goals, but their main goal is they just want this done, right? They want it fixed and they want to move on their life without overpaying or being ripped off. And so, that being the case, the messaging we found that really works, and you want to craft this specific to your business, but the messaging that works great: same day service, emergency service, 24-hour service if you have it, on time. Really harp on the on time, straightforward pricing, upfront pricing, satisfaction guaranteed, trustworthy technicians, experience, right? That kind of messaging resonates. And so, like, really, you want to get that messaging into the website and into the various conversion points in the website where they're going to read, and try not just to put it in text. Try and put it with with visuals, right? That stand out: trusted technician, professional service, satisfaction guaranteed. I know this is getting a little bit into the weeds, but if we're going deep on what really makes your website convert better, bottom line, it's how well does it resonate with your customer? How quickly does it help them feel like you're the answer to their solution? And messaging is really where that all stems. Give me a 1 if you're tracking with me and if this is making sense and you feel like you could take some of these ideas and implement them into your site. Awesome. So really want to be real and authentic, right? We talked about this, having the pictures, real pictures, not stock photography. The actual people in the company, not a random spokesperson, right? So this is Craig Philippich. He's a stakeholder. He's the main point at the company. And it's a big company, right? There's lots of technicians. He is never going to be the guy in your home turning the wrench. He's the figurehead, and he's the person that bottom line responsibility for that person showing up on time, taking care of your home, leaving it clean, and taking care of things. Another example here, Schuler Service, right? We've got a picture of the owner, pictures of the ladies in the office, pictures of the guys. Right? If you got a team like this, use it. If it's just you and you're the main owner, use yourself, right? Either way, it's going to improve conversion, the fact that you're being authentic. So here we got Jeff Heger from Nexco, kind of him with his guys in the background. So be authentic. We talked about leveraging multimedia, having those videos about, welcoming them to the website, the various services that you provide. That's going to improve your conversion rates. Leveraging social proof, talking about how many reviews you have and showing the source. So we got 200 reviews, and if you look at it, 172 are from Google, 15 are from Angie's List. Like, really make it clear the source. That way they see they're real. This is legit. This is a solid company. If you can get real videos of your customers, great. If you can get a counter that's evident on your website of your total number of reviews and the average rating, absolutely helps. Have a roll-up page on your site that shows your average reviews and kind of where they come from. And then the fundamentals, right? The very baseline fundamentals: phone number in the top right-hand corner, that visual got moved down, web form where they can communicate with you. At each of the different blocks of text, make sure you tell them what to do next and make it easy to see what that next option is. And then make an offer that matches what they were looking for. So if you've got various pages on your site, and we always encourage have a page for each of your services, make an offer with a coupon or with a special promotional code that matches that. We find that will absolutely help with conversion. Make sure that it's mobile friendly and it can, easy to access and convert on a mobile phone. Give them the option to click the call. Like, test this on your website. If you pull it up and you try and click somewhere to call, does it actually call, or do they have to copy and paste the number? If your mobile site is set up where someone has to press and hold and copy the number and then go to their phone app and then paste it, you're losing leads. You're literally bleeding leads. So that's something you want to check. Like, does it pop up with an easy option to actually call? And then really think about live chat on your website. Give them the opportunity to engage in chat. I mean, only like 5 to 10% of people usually convert, 90% leave. And so we want to make sure that we're actually going to engage with as many of them as possible while they're in the moment. And there's lots of chat services that you can look at. So looking at the workbook, right? I've shown examples, I've shown visuals, I've given you specifics. I want you to pick at least 1 or 2 things that you can go back and implement in your website, whether it's on your own with your current company or maybe even with us, that will move the needle for you from a conversion perspective. I'm giving you guys some time to think about this a little bit here. And says put some videos. I love it. Put some videos on the site. Pick 3. Go ahead and do it. The other thing I want to talk about, which I just referenced, is there's conversion that happens from people picking up the phone and calling, but then there's the conversion that happens after somebody gets to your website, after they call in, after they submit a request. And I really think there's a challenge that I'm seeing in plumbing, HVAC, home service companies, In a lot of cases, yes, it's not having enough leads, but in a lion's share of the cases, it's not converting the leads that they have. The problem is I see it almost 50 to 60% of inbound leads. So once they call in, they ask, okay, how much is it? How much does it cost? And they hang up. Like 50 or 60%, because we listen to thousands of these calls every single month, aren't converting. And they were in your marketplace. They were interested in your services. The other thing is like 90% of web forms fail to convert. So we've all got the web form. We've all got the chat for the most part nowadays. But it feels like those web forms are where leads go to die. And the reason for that is if you don't follow up with your leads in 15 minutes or less, they go cold, right? Today's environment, your customer, they just want this solved, right? And there's thousands of options for them. Literally, they're going to run a Google search. They're going to call the first couple. They're going to go to Google Maps. They're going to go to Google local service ads. They're going to pull up Angie's List and Thumbtack, right? And they're going to go until somebody answers and schedules. So I just want you to put in the chat solved, that's clear. Like their main prerogative is to solve the problem. And if you didn't answer live or you didn't follow up in 15 minutes or less, they're going somewhere else. They've already booked a job elsewhere. The other thing we find is that the average customer should be touched at least 5 to 7 times before they book the job. So the ones that call in and don't book right on the fly are going to need more nurturing. They're going to need more touches. And there's been a major shift from people wanting to engage via phone to text message, right? So like these are the reasons you're not converting at the level that you could, the leads that you do generate and the leads that really are yours for the taking if you can be proactive. So the solution that we've identified is to leverage automation. And this automation exists. Like we have this for you guys. We can plug it in where every web form gets followed up with in 2 minutes after the submission of the form. So picture this for a minute. Somebody comes to your website, they fill out that form. We did a test just a minute ago. I filled out that form, haven't gotten a call, didn't get an email. Picture this, everybody fills out that form on their site. They get a phone call immediately, and there's automation that will basically call that customer, call your office, press 1 to connect now. Somebody in your office is responsible for pressing 1, and now you've called that customer 2 minutes or less. Now, they don't answer all the time. So in that same 2-minute span, an email gets dropped. Hey, you submitted the form on our website. Just wanted to reach out and see how we could help. And a text message that gets dropped. So they get a text message on their phone that says, hey, thanks for coming to our website. You know, you're asking for information. We'd love to solve that for you. We'd love to talk further. Imagine if you had that and that was being done on every lead that came into your office, either via web form, via some type of chat, or they called in and you didn't answer. Give me a 1 in the comments if you believe that would improve your conversion rate on those to actually, because your speed to follow up is almost the most critical thing. 100%. And then the other part of it is you want to make sure that you automate the follow-up afterwards, because not everybody answers, not everybody's ready to book right then and there. And so what we want to do is have automation. And this can be easily done where, okay, they didn't convert yet. Let's send them another text message tomorrow. Let's send them another call the next day. Let's call them the next day. And if you can be the company that's staying on top of them while they still got in the back of their mind that they need to book that job, they need to resolve that issue, they need to get it done, you're going to win more of the jobs. So it's speed is going to win most of the deals. And then it's follow-up that wins the others. Speed and follow-up. Just put speed and follow-up in the chat if that makes sense. We can be the first to call. Another example here, and I'll try and make this quick, but I really want the point to hammer home. We've got 100 leads and we're converting at 30%. And this is pretty common, even with really, really good companies. Just because most of you guys have somebody to answer the phone at the office and they're not salespeople, they're not focused on conversion. Their job is to answer the phone and dispatch, right? And so only the ones where the customer called in and said, yeah, I'd like to schedule for Thursday at 3, get booked, right? Which is only about 30%. The other 70% hang up. They would need another call. They would need another text. They would need another follow-up. So pretty common, 30% of book jobs. So on 100 leads, we're getting about 30 book jobs. Let's say our average ticket is $650. That's about $19,500 in revenue. Now, what we found is when you follow up with speed and follow up, like you get that really dialed in, you can take that up to 70% or more, right? Just think about it. Every request is getting immediate follow up in the methodology that they prefer, which is usually text message, believe it or not. And you can get them booked in. You can solve the problem quicker. You can get on the calendar faster. You can take that annoying thing off of their plate and they can move on with their lives. So 70% with automation takes you for the same exact amount of leads to 70 book jobs and $45,000 in revenue. So, I mean, this can make a huge difference in the amount of money that you make, either just making more profit from the revenues that you're already, or from the leads you're already generating, or that you can scale your marketing because you're making more for every dollar that you invest. So really, it makes every dollar you make more valuable. I would love to apply this technology to you. I've got Rick Vega on with us. He's our conversion amp specialist, which is exactly what this service is. Our service is called Conversion Amp. And what it does is it puts automation onto the back end of your lead flow. And actually put the link, Rick, where they can see a demo. That way they can actually like plug in their website and see a real-time example of this. But it's a really complicated graph here. I'm not going to try and explain it to you. But the bottom line gist is somebody gets to your website, they submit a form or they call and you don't answer. A text message, phone call happens immediately saying, hey, did you want to schedule something? And then automation, if they write back yes, says, great, let's book in a time, right? And it takes them straight to the calendar. If they say no, then it says, hey, not a problem. We're going to reach out to you right away. So it's basically winds up in the same track of all of your other leads, but it keeps touching them until they say, okay, let's book, or they say, hey, no, I'm not interested. So that's pretty small to see, but I really want to encourage you to implement this into your business. We've already seen the fruits of this and have seen the impact that it can have. So we're going to make sure that our website speaks to the target audience. We're going to make sure we use real authentic imagery throughout the site. We're going to use multimedia, all of the different types of video. We're going to leverage social proof. We're going to have the basics in order. Where's our phone number? How many conversion points do we have? We're going to ensure that we have clear call to actions in each of the major blocks on the website. We're going to offer specials and incentives that match what they're looking for. We're going to make sure the website is mobile optimized with an easy click to call function. We're going to leverage chat, ideally to a text message based chat. We're going to start giving clients or customers the ability to book online. We're going to make sure that our site loads extremely quickly. It's because site speed really matters. And we're going to leverage automation. And this is the key I think a lot of you guys haven't tapped into, and the other companies that do are going to have a quick follow-up advantage, is automation. And our platform Conversion Amp can solve this for you very cost effectively. And so if you're interested in learning more about that, I really encourage you, pull up Conversion Amp. I'll just pull up the site real quick. Well, that's on. My whole screen went black. Here we go. I lost you guys for a minute. Give me a 1 if you're still seeing me. Yes. Okay, cool. Let me go back to my share screen here. So, I mean, it does a lot more even than what I've just talked about, but it really streamlines this whole process. So I really want to encourage you, go to the site, click the book online button, and check it out, right? Schedule a time, learn more about how this can work and help you make more money from the leads already coming through to your website. We talked about at the beginning, we want to give you the insights to go from like a 3 to 4 on your website to a 9 to 10, and ultimately make more money with the traffic that's already hitting your website. So I'd love to hear your action items on this. And really what I'd love to hear, yes or no, when you started today's session, I asked you to rate your website. And I said, how would you rate it on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being terrible, 10 being really great, has all the right conversion elements, and can convert like crazy? Do you feel like you've got the insights that can move you from where you're at least 3 or 4 notches up? Just give me a yes or a no in the comments. Got a yes. Ken says yes. A couple of other yeses coming in. 7. Yeah. Okay. So 7 to yes. Awesome. If you'd like help, we'd love the opportunity to talk with you about this. And help can come in a couple different ways. It could be, let's talk about putting Conversion Amp in play for you. Let's talk about putting that marketing automation in place to convert the inbound calls and to convert the leads. It could be you'd like some help with your website, and you know that you're only so talented, your team's only so talented, and you'd like to have us, who has proven websites converting at 35% or higher, implement a website like that for you. So either of those options would be great. If you'd like to connect, you can type in "Let's Talk" into the chat, or you can call us at 866-610-4647, or schedule a free website evaluation. You can go to plumberseo.net/schedule. Our team will look at your website, look at the conversion factors, give you a complete breakdown. Here's where it's failing. Here's what it could do to convert better, and show you exactly what it would cost for us to take the ball and run with it on your behalf. Christian, if you could drop the link in there to schedule, that would be awesome. And would love to answer any questions that you guys have. I hope you got value. I hope there's some good insights and takeaways from today's session. It's been a pleasure to share. I love doing these. I love sharing examples. I love kind of looking at you guys' websites while we're at it. Was I not sharing my screen? Hold on. Well, let me go back to share. So you can go to just go to conversionamp.com. Larry W., maybe reach out to Rick and schedule if we get a little error there. Excellent info, says Ken. Awesome. Well, great, guys. It's been an honor. Again, we're going to be doing continuing sessions, kind of going deeper on the elements of conversion and really how to maximize your lead flow online. Again, if you'd like to schedule a free complimentary evaluation, no cost, no pressure, you can go to plumberseo.net/schedule or call us at 866-610-4647. Thanks so much, everybody. Have an amazing afternoon, and we'll talk to you later.